Hey Royal, welcome to Tamira's Throne Room. My name is Tamira, and today I'm just giving a video. I keep wanting to say prophetic word, but it's just a video. So I listened to a video the other day, and a woman asked another woman in ministry for tips on how to start her ministry. Okay, and the woman in ministry, she had a really successful ministry, and she said, "Well, it took me like 20 years to get this ministry going, and so you have a long way to go." And she didn't really give many tips after that. And so I just want to be clear that our journeys with God are different, and this means that what took one person 10 years, 20 years, 30 years may take someone else 2 to 3 years or less. It all depends on God's plan for your life and your obedience as well. So what I'm saying is, if I was to encourage someone to start a YouTube channel who wasn't confident in what they had to offer via video, I'm going to say something that is going to encourage them, that is going to hopefully shoot them off into purpose, hopefully, or just shoot them off into a direction that God wants them to go in. No matter what I've been through already, no matter what my personal experience was in that area, I want to help them get where God wants them to go, right? And so I would say something like, I was afraid to start a channel too, but God did not give me a spirit of fear. He did not give us a spirit of fear. And so if God didn't give you a spirit of fear, who did? And so if God is telling you to create this channel, and you're just afraid, but you know that what you have is to benefit someone else, then just start it, okay? And so, I would tell that person to not worry about the amount of followers, or the people who unsubscribe to them when they do start the channel, because God has an audience just for you. All right. So if they unsubscribe, just look at it as God helping you out, or God helping you distinguish who is really for your content. Not everybody is going to be your audience. Okay. And that's something that you just have to learn, and you have to learn to wait as well, because it's sometimes you start something and then you don't see the response you thought you were gonna get from it as quickly, and so you just quit altogether. But sometimes God is actually have you there longer so that you can make all your mistakes and your errors while no one is really seeing it, and then you'll see your audience come, because by then you're refined, right? So the thing I want you to understand is, when I encourage people, I have an understanding that my encouragement can launch someone into what God has for them, even if I'm not necessarily in the place that I want to be in my life. I don't see that success in my life, but you have to be willing to put your feelings aside sometime about where you're at, or to just understand that where you're at is where God has you personally, but it doesn't mean that He wants someone else to be in that same position. Maybe He has some other kind of thing, to work out in their life for them. This would mean that I can be happy for this person when they have 16K people following them within 3 days of starting their channel, when I only have 15 people, and I've had the channel for 60 days. So you have to be able to encourage people even if you don't see necessarily the results that you want. One of the things God has done with me is, I've had to encourage people when I was broke. And tell them, like, oh no, the money is definitely coming in. I've had to tell people that God's gonna work it out for them. And I'm looking at my own situation, I'm just like, well, what about me, God? All right. But you have to be able to take your experience out of it, and know that God can do something different in someone else's life, even if you don't necessarily see it yet in your own. Okay. And so, and when it comes to followers as well, because this seems to be a big thing for people, is that you have to see, no matter, sometimes God will start you out with a few people investing in your business, okay? And sometimes you won't see any investment in it. And the value in 15 people is just as valuable in 16,000 people, okay? And so you have to make sure that you are still giving content, still giving, effort, putting effort in helping those people that God has even given you as an audience, no matter how small it looks. Okay, because the small number is valuable too. What I'm saying is, we have to develop a mentality that knows God does what he wants, when he wants, with who he wants. Okay, and it may take time to see certain things manifest in our lives, but it doesn't mean it will be the exact same experience for someone else. Okay, so I'm not saying don't tell your experience, definitely help people out, but I am saying leave an open door for possibility. If someone says, I started a business and it took me a year to be able to sell and quit my 9 to 5, another person might start a business and sell something the same day and be able to quit their job the same day. And sometimes, it's not even that the person that wasn't able to make a profit as quickly was doing anything wrong, but God may be developing that person in an area where it's taking longer because the place God wants to elevate them will require more from them. And so when you look at things like that, you'll be in a position, or God will have you in a position where you definitely are lower, but that you don't necessarily care if someone surpasses you, because where you are is purposeful. Okay, you know that God put you here, and if God put you here, then there's a reason for it. And so you don't get jealous, or you don't feel like you have to withhold knowledge that you have, because you're confident in the value that you have to offer. You know that what you have is beneficial, and you know where God has placed you is still beneficial, even when you don't necessarily see those results. Okay, and so when God sees that you can help and encourage those who surpass you, he knows he can trust you with elevation, with people. So try your best not to limit people based off of your experiences, especially when it's something that can be beneficial, especially when God can do whatever he wants to do with someone's life. We're put here to encourage one another. Definitely give people advice, but like I said, leave an open door for possibility, because God is a God of the impossible. Okay, and so we have to leave the door open for possibility. And so this video was called "It May Be Different for You," and so I stand on that. It may be different for you. So I hope this helped you, and peace, world.